Welcome to the 50 for 50 podcast for Sycamore View Church in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm your host, Anna Moser. In 2028, our church will turn 50. As we look forward to that celebration, we're taking a look back at the stories and people who have shaped our church. 50 stories over 50 months to celebrate 50 years. I encourage you to jump on our website, sycamoreview.org/50-4-50 to watch a short video telling this month's story. We'll be diving deeper into that story here with a special guest each month. So let's jump right in. So the month is June, and this month our story is about Family Factory, something that was for the children's ministry and their parents back in the day. And so I'm excited that we have two awesome people here on the podcast who poured so much into the children's ministry. And as a children's minister, that means a lot to me. So I'm glad to have you both here. I'm going to start by having each of you introduce yourselves. Tell us how long you've been at Sycamore View and what brought you here.
Okay, I'm Beth Nuthak. I have been at Sycamore View since 1993, I think. Okay. Long time. It's like 30-something years. I can't do the math. But my husband, Chris, and I came here after college. I had grown up in Memphis and went to Brownsville Road, and he's from Minnesota. And so after college, we wanted a fresh start and a place to call our own, and we came to Sycamore View and just loved it. Loved the atmosphere here, the vitality. There were a lot of people our age, and so we just found a home really quickly.
Yeah, my name's Eddie Eaton. We've been here since 2001, so almost, I guess, 24 years. And kind of the same thing. We were, young and trying to figure out a church home, and we, plugged in with a lot of the younger couples, and we had a few family members that went to church here, but it was really a good place, just kind of a cool setup at that time. A lot of things going on for young families, so it was good.
It's awesome. It's kind of fun to imagine, like, your generation as the young families, like knowing the young families now.
A long time ago.
And just imagining the Eatons and the Nuthak showing up.
Many years ago.
I just think that's really cool. So I'm going to do a little bit of a recap from the video about Family Factory. It was a ministry of the children's ministry on Sunday mornings for about 5 years. Or, you were children's minister for about 5 years. Yeah. And Family Factory went on past you.
Yes.
But
so 9 or 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a VBS every Sunday. Yes. Like skit, songs, engaging with parents and kids, elementary age kids, right? Yes. And the gym was
transformed.
You
only have to be 4 years old.
That's right. That's right.
The gym was transformed. When I look at pictures, it's hard to even recognize the gym. It was amazing. Oh, yeah. So, Beth, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience that you mentioned in the video of going to the Orange Conference in Atlanta and how that inspired you to dream up Family Factory?
Sure. So we had just started a children's worship program. Back then it was called Kids for Christ, KFC. And I was just kind of looking for some more ways to engage children and help them build their worship experience. My brother at the time was at Cordova Community Church and was working with their children's ministry, and they had gone to Orange Conference. So he encouraged me to go, and they were doing a program similar over there. So I wanted to bring somebody with me, and I didn't know Ty Jones very well at the time, but Ty had helped me build the set for KFC. I just gave him an idea, and he ran with it, and he built this huge KFC chicken bucket for a puppet stage. So I knew this guy had some creativity and some drive to him, so I brought him with me. And we learned all about their vision and mission, and I was just enthralled at the idea of having this shared experience for families to give them a starting off point to teach their children spiritual values. And so I was just really listening to the content and the mission and the vision, while Ty was just looking all around at everything, the production value of it, how their stage was set up, the sound, the lighting, all the production parts of it. And I just really think God brought us together because we worked well together and bounced off of each other that way. And so we just couldn't stop talking about how are we going to bring something like this to Sycamore View. So that was our starting off point, and it was a journey to get to where we were, but with his help and vision and dreams, we made it happen.
That's awesome. Did it take much convincing, like with the leadership here, the staff?
Oh, yes.
Or like you come back from this conference with this idea and vision, and then implementing it. I'm sure.
It was like nothing that had ever been done before. Like you said, it was kind of like a VBS, but even bigger than that. And there was a music component that a lot of people weren't comfortable with yet. We had women on stage that hadn't been done before. And just the whole format and the idea of putting parents and children together and what that was going to look like. So there were a lot of meetings and a lot of starting and stopping and adapting to make it what it finally came out to be.
Yeah. There were some risky parts to it. Yes. It was a bold thing for our church and you to take on. And I love the orange philosophy, if people have never heard of it, is like red represents the family and yellow represents the church, and that the two work best together when there's places where they overlap. Yes. And to not have church just completely be an experience where they're separated from each other, but to come together. And so that way, hopefully easier to talk about things at home that you saw and experienced together. So that's really neat. So Eddie, when and how did you get involved in Family Factory?
It was it was really neat. I mean, at that time, we had a lot of people really excited about kind of figuring out what's next as far as what's the best thing for the kids, and we had a ton of volunteers at first, of kind of people interested. So Ty and Beth, when we were kind of dividing up what we would do, I kind of got appointed to be the director with the skits and stuff, and it was just, everything about it was so cool. I mean, there's so many people that worked really hard, but kind of like Beth said, when they first got back, they kind of had a meeting and they were showing us all this, and when Ty started talking about, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to change the gym, we're going to do all this, and it was really hard to visualize it. Like, I mean, when he started talking, I was like, is this really going to happen? Yeah. Like, I was kind of like, I didn't, it was kind of hard for me to visualize it, but then we started doing it, and, Ty was up there, it seemed like a couple of months, making everything happen. And he had, just a ton of creativity on the way he was looking at things. And there were just so many people that helped out in so many ways, kind of getting started. And, what Beth and Ty kind of had, I mean, I would say y'all kind of had a joint vision of kind of making it all happen. And it was really, really cool to see so many different families kind of jump in and get involved. Yes. And, over the years, we just had so many people involved in it. It was really a great group effort of kind of everybody involved over that time. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I loved hearing in the video about, I think it was Kevin Smithers, was able to use his gifts with like set design. Is that right?
Oh, he was on stage. He was a character.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Grandpa Henry.
Grandpa Henry, and he was kind of the wise one of the group who gave the life lessons. Yeah. In fact, I remember on the very last episode, the last one we ever did, he had the last line and he shut everything down.
Yeah.
I think that meant a lot to him to be able to do that.
Yeah, I love when people have an opportunity to use their gifts in a ministry where, like, he might not have volunteered in children's ministry in a traditional role, but found a spot there that he was able to
There were so many different opportunities. I think about Kenny Wires. He was so great mechanically, and he helped set up the sound and the lighting, where he, maybe not seen a place for himself before. He was vital to setting that up. And then we had people who were doing crowd control and passing out the tools that we used every week. And Rachel Galbraith getting the props for us every week, because that was a huge job. But there was just so many ways that people could get involved and build. We had such a community. Yeah. It really became like a family.
Yeah, so many people involved. And I know there were 1 million people, and we can't name everybody, but there were just so many people that, I mean, kind of like you said, so many people were just such perfect fits for certain things. But, we had Chris Harris helped out in the booth and with mics at first, and Chris was, pretty amazing. And of course, he had a lot of background in music and sound and stuff. And then Brad Blackwood, who has won Grammys,
Yes.
started doing audio for us. And I
Yeah.
mean, we could, you couldn't handpick somebody that could help out with audio better than that. So he was amazing. And, Jimmy and Jill doing everything they did with the, putting the shows together, and so many different, Eric Newsom doing the Good Book Look. And we had a lot of different people. One of the, and this may be a question you're getting to, but one of the things we were talking a little bit about, we were able to get Lee Brown, who was homeless at the time, involved in Family Factory. And that was kind of a cool thing to have him, and he felt like he was a part of the team, doing some of the things
Gave
for
him
the
a
kids.
purpose.
And he did some voiceovers for us, and then we got him on the stage a few times. So it was really, really a great, again, kind of a group effort to kind of pull everybody in on it. But it was really great.
I think about, too, the singers, people using their singing ability and gifts on stage. And we had women up there that I think this was before we had a praise team. So women were being able to use their gifts in a way they hadn't before. So that was pretty cool.
No, There's so many people helped out with the songs. And of course, Kip helped out a lot with doing songs and too. But there were just, again, so many people that did such a great job. And, Chris Nuthak was just amazing. He had a role of Gordo and was just, every time he was out there, he did such a phenomenal job. And it was just always, I always think back to early on, like him and Amanda Harris, like we were talking about joking around, like backstage, they would do the regular skit, and then backstage they would start doing like Saturday Night Live stuff. So we were like going, kind of going back and forth with all of it. So it was just, I was always laughing so much. Like behind the scenes, we were kind of trying to be quiet while other stuff was going on. Sometimes we were doing lines because they were so great together.
Yeah. There was never a week where we were not just all dying laughing at some point. Just having a big fun time.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that. Sounds like a community.
Beth kind of sells herself short a little bit on this, but I mean, she was, in a lot of ways, when the hosting part was, she was the credible host and Ty was the comic host. And so many times Beth was kind of having to rein him in. I mean, he was setting up so many different things the whole time, but Beth kind of had to keep the whole ship on course because many times it was going a lot of different directions. Yeah. But it was always balance. Good. It got back, but it was that
was us in real life. I really was the credible part, and he was the comic part.
Yeah.
But we are yin to yang. We worked well.
That's right.
I love that. Man, that's so cool. And I love just the community that's built. We see that with like youth group volunteers. Like when you serve together, it does build a community that's really hard to duplicate, because you just get in the trenches together and you have fun, but you also work hard. And so that's awesome. Obviously, we've seen the impact on the adults, and the impact on children is a little bit harder to measure but they have the memories. And I know Caroline, who's recording, she grew up in a Family Factory. But I know that what you guys did made such an impact on the kids that came through, and the adults too. And most of those kids are now in college and adults. And I
bet Caroline can still sing Monkey See, Monkey Do. I bet you know all the words.
She's nodding, yeah. And some of them now have kids in our children's ministry. So it's just like the ripple effect of an impact is pretty amazing. Any other like favorite stories or memories from Family Factory times that you want to share?
Beth and I were talking a little bit about this. One of the coolest things I think we did is we got to do Family Factory at Shelby Oaks. And I think the first time we did that, I didn't get to go, but one of the times Anthony Fox and I were kind of playing the bad guys, and there was like 1,000 kids. I mean, it was a big, big school, and we're in front of everybody. And like those kids, when you were the bad guy in the skit, like they were mad at you. Like, they were at the end of it, they were like mad because you were kind of a bad guy, and they were wanting to get like, Judy Jones was Cammie, and they were wanting to get Cammie's autograph when it was over. And it was like, it was just, the kids were really excited. But I knew, Ty and I talked about this, like after that show, like I remember doing that, that song where you do like the, form the orange and squish the orange and go bananas. Yeah. And when we were going bananas, like all those kids were just jumping up and down. And I think some of the teachers were like, this is a little out of control. But it was pretty great. I mean, it was pretty cool to do that. And, and to also do something. I think a lot of those
kids didn't have an experience like that.
Yeah, like to have
might have camp.
How many times do you get to have a biblical message. We kind of had to tone it down, I think, a little of what we were saying in there, but it was
still values.
We still had the
values.
Still had the values with it. So it was pretty cool, the virtues, I guess, that went in. So it was good.
That's really neat. I never heard that. That's cool.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of it is a blur. I don't There was just so many funny gags that we did every week, but I think one of my favorite things was the songs, and they still stay with you. But there was one that was a little more serious, "No One Like You," and in a particular part of the song, the music cuts out, and you just hear the kids singing, and they're praising God, and they every week would raise their hands up to the heavens and just sing to God and worship Him. And that was kind of my whole purpose, and to see it come to fruition and see those kids build their relationship with God, it would make me cry every single week. And that was just a special memory that will always stay with me. It still tears me up to this day.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And to think just that getting worship planted in them at a young age, and then growing up and getting to continue to worship and experience that. Yeah, that's really awesome. And I just love our church. One of our core values is giving the next generation a compelling story to live into. And I think that Family Factory was a big part of kind of making children's ministry a priority at Sycamore View. And so I thank you, Beth, and all of your volunteers, Eddie and others who really helped pave that way, that now I get to be here as the children's minister because of all of the work you put into it too. So I just think that's, it's a God thing for sure. But anybody that pours into children is a special person to me. So I thank both of you. So, what I've been doing is I've been asking everybody at kind of the end to share a short prayer or hope that they have for our church, because we're doing this 50 for 50 thing to look back at 50 years, but also to look forward. So would either of you or both of you, I'd love for you to add a short sentence or two of a prayer or hope for our church as we keep moving forward.
Well, I just want to build on what you were saying, Anna, is I'm so thankful that I'm a part of a church that's one of our goals is to give our children, our youth, a compelling story to live into. And I've seen how we've grown in that in the last 15 to 20 years. And I'm so thankful that we have the leadership in you, Anna, to carry that vision on. And I just want that to continue. I hope that we continue to value our children and their souls and their spiritual lives and their futures, and all children. And I love that we have a focus here on diversity, and we want to help all children. And I see, I have a vision of even reaching out to more children and families with special needs, and how we can help them, because that's, I think, a big need in our community. So that's a hope of mine.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. I think just, what we're hopefully able to build on of, reaching out to the kids. And I think there were a lot of great things that kind of happened, and there were, kind of different iterations of Family Factory as we went through the years, kind of some different people involved. But I feel like, now we're in a really good place at Sycamore View. I feel like our children's ministry is in a good place. And I think, Josh mentioned this the other day when we were talking, that Beth was kind of a trailblazer of, kind of breaking into that and a really good foundation for all of that. So hopefully we can kind of keep building on that. And I think we're in a really good spot right now with you and all the volunteers and everything that are doing it now. So just hope that to continue and keep moving on. So it's good.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you both for being here today. Hopefully it was pretty painless.
That was good.
And thank you for all that you've done for Family Factory, and even beyond that. I know that you're both very involved in the praise team now and the homeless ministry. And so I'm just thankful for both of you and your servant hearts for our church.
Well, thank you.
In all different ways. And so join us back next month. Will be July, and we're going to be talking about the youth ministry. I guess we should give them a little bit of time too. So we'll see you then.